What's up, Glue Dots? I'm Elaine, the Midnight Crafter, and today I have for you a really interesting, and you'll be surprised what it's made of, little clutch bag that has, it's kind of a boho style, and it has the eye design on it. Now the eye design, there's huge, you'll have to Google it and check it out, huge legend, story, beliefs behind the evil eye or the lucky eye, depending on what you know it as. But and it seems to become really popular lately with celebrities and all that stuff, and you may have seen it around. Anyway, an adorable little bag, kind of chic and sassy and boho and evil eye, which in Greek we call them mati, by the way, a little tidbit for you, mati. So anyway, we're going to get to that. We're going to make that. Before we do, if you want to stick around a little bit and join the Glue Dot family, we'd love to have you. Hit the subscribe button here below and the bell next to it so that you will be notified whenever I upload a new video. So without further ado, I think we'll get into our little clutch bag. All right, let's get to it. So we're going to start here. This is so much fun. And I'm going to start, while I'm waiting for my glue gun to heat up, I'm going to show you how to make the little tassels that we're going to put on the ends. So find your yarn. I got this yarn at Walmart. It was very inexpensive. It was the cheapest one they had, and I cannot remember. I think it was, anyway, I don't even want to say, but what you're going to do is take 2 fingers and you're going to hold your thread. You're going to hold your yarn and wrap it around. I do it around 13 times. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And so you see the one end is here, the other end is there. We're going to cut off. I have a slight bit of space between my fingers, not much, maybe, I don't know, 1/4 inch or so. I'm going to cut off the end there. And then I'm going to take a piece, while this is on my fingers, I'm going to take another piece of yarn, probably about 5 inches long, put it between my fingers, pass it through there, and go up here to the top. And I'm going to tie that in a good tight knot. Okay, the next thing to do is go through and cut the loops that we just made so that we form the fringes. So super easy. We're almost done here with our little tassel. We could leave it like that, but I want an even more finished look. So what we're going to do now is take another piece of yarn about 5 inches long or so, and put it just on your tassel around there, and we're going to tie a good strong knot, good tight knot. And just because I'm a weirdo and I want to make sure it's extra secure, I'm going to put the teeny tiniest little bit of glue just to make sure that doesn't come untied, and then finish off my knot. Nice and tight. This piece that's on the upward, I'm going to cut that one off. The other one went down, so it's blending in. And you see we have a little bit of some uneven pieces there. I'm just going to cut those off and even out my tassel. Giving it a little haircut. And voila, we have a cute little tassel. So I'm going to make one more in this mint color, and then I'm going to make 2 of them in black. And then we will get on to making the clutch, because by then my glue should be hot enough. So I have my 4 tassels made that are going to be going on the bottom corners of our purse, but then I want to make one for where the flap of the purse hangs over right there in the center. So I actually am going to do a combined one using both the black and the mint. So I'm going to show you how I do that. And I'm going to make it a little bit longer than the ones that I made for my edges. So I'm going to take both of the colors and put them together. And again, same way, but what I'm going to do is leave a little bigger spacing between my fingers. And I'm probably going to go around also, I don't know if I'm going to go around 13 times because now I've got double the thread. So let's see, I'm going to kind of play it by ear here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're going to go around 9 times, cut off the rest. And this one I don't need to have both colors to tie it off with. So I'm just going to take some of the, I suppose the black, about 5 inches of it, same way. So we're actually going to get into making the clutch part now. So it's super easy, and you know what? You're never going to look at little floor mats or placemats the same way again. So turn your placemat right side down, and then your placemat. This is actually a floor mat. And then you're just going to, super simple, just going to fold it and figure out how you want it to lay. I'm going to have it go right there. This has this neat border, and I'm just going to have it fold right where the border is. It looks like a good size clutch. And I'm going to do a combination of the E6000 and the hot glue. Now probably the hot glue alone would do it, but I just want to be sure. So I'm going to do my E6000 on along this edge. And note to self, I did another one of these bags and I totally forgot about putting in my little tassels beforehand. So where your fold is, put some extra glue, and then also you're going to put some of your hot glue there as well. And take 2 of your tassels. I'm going to do 1 each, and leave them a little bit of extra to hang down, and lay them in there on top of the glue. Try not to burn yourself. I'm going to put a little extra hot glue on top of them just to make sure they're securely fastened in there. Remember, we already have our E6000 over here on this side. And then I'm going to run a line of glue, the hot glue, all the way down here on this edge. So between the 2 glues, I should have a really good adhesion. We're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. Flip this around. I think the last thing we're going to do, well, maybe not last thing, because I do have a couple more steps to this, is I'm going to add this tassel right to the center of this, and I'm going to attach it on the underside. I'm finding my center point here. And then we're going to attach this by putting some of our hot glue, just like we did for the fringy ones on the side. Lay it on there, leaving a little bit hanging so that your tassel can actually move around. And then I'm going to put a little more hot glue on top of that I just glued down, because we want this to be real secure. And then I'm going to fold down some of this leftover piece here on top so that it has a nice finish to it. And give that a second to dry. Then I'm going to cut off the little extra pieces that are hanging there. Now, if you like it like that, you can be completely finished. I know that right now, these bags are really popular with extra fringy little things, so I'm actually going to put this little fringe on the bottom of the flap of the purse. It's entirely up to you. If you don't want to do that, don't do it. Nobody's going to make you do it, I promise. At least I won't anyway. And I'm going to actually use, again, the E6000 and the hot glue. And the reason I'm doing that is because I had done another one of these bags and I had only used the hot glue on parts of it, and it was okay, but it wasn't sticking as well as I would like. So I'm going to go ahead and do both for this one. And I'm attaching it right at the edge. So when we flip it over, the little dealy balls, as I call them, will hang down. Now I'm using the Gorilla Glue hot glue sticks. I never used to use them. I didn't really think it mattered, but on one of my recent projects, I really noticed that the cheap glue sticks I got were horrible and nothing was sticking. So it was coming apart. I never had that problem before. So I don't know if I just happened to have good glue sticks before by accident, but I know that the last batch of them that I got were not very good. And so I figure, you know, we put all this effort into our crafting, pay a little extra and get some decent glue sticks so that your projects will really hold up for you. And there you have it. So cute. Okay, so that is one style I'm going to show you, and I've got a couple more. The next one's going to be a little more elaborate because, or maybe a little more complicated because I'm going to have to line it. And so anyway, there's one, and we'll get to the next one. So for this bag, I'm using one of these type of mats. And what we're going to do is go onto the not so good side, and we're going to be lining that with a placemat that I purchased as well from Dollar Tree. So I've lined my placemat up on top of my rug, and what I've done here is taken it to the bottom edge, just leaving out the fringes, and taken it up as far as it'll go, again leaving out the fringes on the top. It actually leaves a little more, and these things for $1, they're not going to be perfectly even. I kind of like how this has a wave. It worked out that way. It makes a cute handle, or what do you call it, a cute flap. It looks like it was intentional. So what we're going to do, once you get that there, find out again where you want your bag to lay, or how big you want it, and how big a flap you want to hang down over. Anyway, so this is where I want my purse to close and how I think I like it to line up. So at that point, I know I have it where I need it. I'm going to go in and start gluing the placemat down to the floor mat, the little rug, or whatever you call it. I don't even know what you call it. So I'm going to be using the E6000 and the hot glue again. And the reason I'm lining this one is that these really, they're only held together very loosely by this like fishing wire type stuff. And I don't want, if you were using this as a bag, your stuff might start poking through. So I feel like you really need to line this particular style. So I'm going to go through and go along my edge here, all the way along it, and glue the entire mat down to the other mat. So now we're going to go through and we're going to be gluing this into our purse position. And I'm going to glue it probably on both, not only here, but I'm going to glue this as well. I want this to really be the main thing holding our bag together, and this, I don't want it to be like flipping open like that, so I'm going to glue that afterwards. But first, so the tassels are made, and I'm going to go ahead, find that midway point in here, and add my hot glue, and glue in my tassels. And then we're going to go ahead and glue this side down together. This is going to be a little bit trickier because these don't line up perfectly since this is so jig-jaggy. Now comes the fun part. You can leave it like this if you choose to, but if you want to update it to that kind of mati, as we said, the evil eye look, which is really popular right now with the celebrities, we can do that using some of these various fabrics, which I got different colors for 97 cents each at Walmart. So I think I'm going to go with an eyeball in this color with the white with the black. So I think I'm going to use the turquoise as the base of my eye because I like, there's a lot of darkness going on this. I think I'm just going to go ahead and do that. And we're going to cut out a piece, depending on what size eye you want. You're going to cut out a piece that will be a good size for you. Let's see. Okay, to make the eye shape, I'm going to fold it in half because I feel like it's going to be easier to get it to match. I'm just going to freehand it to an eye shape. I'm going to cut my white circle to go in the center. So in order to make this center circle, I'll be folding this into 4 in half and then in half again. And I'll be cutting a rounded shape here. It's a little bit big, but I think I'm okay with that. It's actually the size of the bottom eye, and I'm good with that. Then we're going to make the pupil out of the black. So we just need a little piece of the black. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this down with my E6000 because this is where I had a problem on another bag that I did, and I glued it down with a glue gun and it didn't stick. Now I don't know if that's the function of the fabric beneath or of this fabric, but for some reason the glue gun does not work well on that. First I'm gonna put some glue here, some E6000 around the edges. And place your eyeball where you want it. If you don't want it centered, you can put it kind of angled on the side somewhere. Whatever you like, it's your design. And we'll do the same with our white piece and with our black piece and get those all glued down. Now if you're wanting to stop here, that would be okay, but if that's the case, I would suggest instead of using the E6000 to glue your fabric down with, that you use something called Fabric Fuse, which is also made by E6000, but it's specifically for fabric. And I will put a link down below in the description box. But if you want to go on, which is what I'm going to do, this is all going to be covered up with yarn. It's a little more labor intensive, but it makes for a little bit more, I don't know, professional looking or a little more finished looking bag. So I'm going to start in the center with the black, and I'm going to be using the E6000 again, putting it all over, actually just kind of starting with it. It's going to be going all over, but I'm just going to start around the edge so I can get going and not have it completely dry on me. So I'm starting out with it at the edge. Then we're going to go all the way around until we fill in this whole circle with our black yarn. I'm going to go around and start now with the white and make my way around there. And you can, I want to show you, I got the white on there, but you can see there's still some white fabric showing. So this is where you see how centered or not centered or a properly shaped circle you made. But I'm not going to worry about that because I can cover that up with my mint colored yarn. And I'm going to go around and then I'll be filling in those areas. All finished, got everything in place. And I have to just give you a tip here. So I started filling in initially going around in a circle on this. It didn't look very good at all. So then I went and took that all out and came back and forth and did the little loopies. And I think that was a much better option. So I'm going to show you all of them together now so you can see how fun and how you'll never view placemats and floor mats the same again.